Hey, this is Ken for the Information Nation. We're bringing you more stuff. Yep, we got stuff for you. And I got a question. Is the Democratic Party really good for the black community, or are they using them? Well, an article in the Daily Caller, let's scroll down here. Landrieu, Obama and I aren't popular in the South because it's racist and sexist. Now, there's a cute little picture of Mary Landrieu. Louisiana Senator Mary Landrieu claimed that her state at times has been unfriendly to African Americans and to women. And this was in an interview with NBC's Chuck Todd. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. The South has not always been the friendliest place for African Americans. And she said this on Thursday. It's been a difficult time for the president to present himself in a positive light as a leader. It's not always been a good place for women to be able to present themselves, Landrieu continued. It's more a conservative place. So we've had to work a bit harder. Yeah, I can't go on with this stuff. I'll tell you right now. Mary Landrieu is in her third term. So I don't want to hear her they're not going to vote for me. Why don't we find out? Why don't we find out what a state senator from Louisiana had to say about Senator Mary Landrieu?
Opelousas, Louisiana, Academy Street, the Hill section. I grew up just a few blocks from here. These streets look just the same as they did when I was a kid. In some ways, they look even worse. Mary Landrieu first ran for Senate in 1996, promising to be a champion for the black community. 18 years later, little has changed. Our communities are poorer than they were in 1996. Our schools continue to fail children. Our jails are filled with young black men who should be at home being fathers. Meanwhile, Mary Landrieu lives in a $2 million mansion on Capitol Hill. You see, as Thomas Sowell said, politicians are not trying to solve our problems. They're trying to solve their own problems, of which getting elected and re-elected are number one and number two. You're not Mary's cause, and you're certainly not her charity. You are just a vote, nothing less and nothing more. For her, you're just a means to an end, so that she remains in power, while you scrounge together food stamps to buy Kool-Aid. She sips champagne at cocktail parties. While you dig through the couch looking for gas money, she flies around in private jets funded by taxpayer dollars. But Mary Landrieu knows she doesn't have to do anything for our community, because no matter what she does, 95% of us will line up and vote for her every single time. Since 1996, black unemployment has doubled, and the poverty rate for blacks has skyrocketed. Mary hasn't helped us at all. So on November 4th, let's send her back home to her father's house, or to her mansion in Washington, D.C., or to wherever the heck she lives, because one thing is for sure, she does not live here on Academy Street, on the Hill.
Now, I don't want you to think that Mary Landrieu is the only one who uses the race card. No, 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 no. Democrats throughout the entire system are using the race card and the war on women. Let's find out what else we've got. Let's take a look at Charlie Rangel. Now, Charlie Rangel says some Republicans believe that slavery isn't over. This comes to you from the Business Insider. So, veteran Representative Charlie Rangel, Democrat of New York, had some harsh words for Republican Party during the Thursday campaign rally for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. As he has done repeatedly before, Rangel compared some members of the GOP to Confederates from the Civil War era. But At the Thursday evening meeting, he added that they believe slavery isn't over. You want to talk about slavery? Let's see what the Democrats have done to the blacks. Well, what they're doing to all of us, not just the blacks, but they're doing it to all of us, blacks, whites, Hispanics, Latino, it doesn't matter. They're screwing us all. We have to win. We have to be able to send a national message with Andrew Cuomo. And the thing is, everything we believe in, they hate. They don't disagree, they hate. You know, now Charlie Rangel has been there so long. I think he was in there right after Washington was became the first president. Charlie Rangel's been there a long time. But come on, Charlie. Hate and civil war? You know, you better think twice there, Charlie, before you start opening your mouth. Because it was the Republicans who fought in the Civil War. You know, and they were the ones who were fighting for freedom, to free the slaves, as most conservatives were. But that's besides the point. I don't want to get into a history lesson here. I want to get into what they're doing today. In contrast, Rangel said the Democratic Party is doing God's work on issues important to the American people. Since when? Since when? You've had the bailout. You've had Obamacare. You've got more people on food stamps now than you've ever had before. And Charlie Rangel wants to tout the Democratic Party. I think that's pretty darn good. But let us not just pick on Charlie Rangel. There's more. Now, this comes to you from the Washington Times. Desperate Democrats resort to race baiting to spur black vote. Well, there you get a nice little picture of Barack Obama and the Maryland gubernatorial Democratic candidate, Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown. And yeah, if they don't vote for Brown, they're going to say, well, it was all racist. They have a tendency to do that stuff. But here's the thing that is really disgusting. The spate of campaign flyers that use images of lynching, Jim Crow laws, and recent racial unrest in Ferguson, Missouri to urge black to vote in the next week's election somehow failed to grab the attention of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The NAACP headquarters in Washington wasn't prepared to answer questions about the flyers and mailers circulated in black communities in Georgia, Maryland, and North Carolina, despite widespread news coverage over the past week. Can you send photos of literature to tell me exact states where this was been distributed? I mean, it's NAACP. They didn't want to know where in the heck it was distributed at. So they sent them the information, and guess what? The NAACP never got back to them. So does that mean that the NAACP is in bed with the Democratic Party? It could be. I don't know. But as I said earlier in this video, the black community is pretty much starting to have enough of these Democrats because they're not doing anything for the blacks. They're not doing anything for anybody. It's like Senator Guillory said, all we are to them is a vote. But don't take my word for it. Let's find out what the blacks have to say about this.
Black folks is in an abusive black leadership relationship.
We have to send a message. This is the time for us to send a message.
We always talking about what the Republicans ain't done for us or what they will do to hurt us. My life has been hurt by Democrats.
And we got in our mind that we always got to keep voting Democrat.
You know, look and see in your community, who are the real oppressors in our community? They always talk about black on black crime. And when you hear the word black on black crime, the first thing you think of is a black man robbing you, a black man breaking in your house. And that is a black on black crime. But let's take it one step further. There's a black on black crime down in City Hall. There's a black on black crime down in all the state capitals in America where black folks are voting against our interests, where black folks are voting and making us, we're getting poor and poor, and other groups are getting richer and richer.
Everywhere you go, there's poverty in black areas.
This lot where I stand at right now, Ida Wells, public housing residents should live at. Most of the people are homeless, living in the street. And it's because of you, Mr. President.
In Detroit, Where your leaders at? There's no white folks running Detroit, cutting water on black folks in Detroit. Them black folks running that city. Ain't no white folks doing that. Them black folks going along with that. Everything's happening in our community is black leadership doing this.
Our children know that if the Democrats have not done anything for us as of yet, why should they even go out and vote? What agenda is on the table that's going to change their life?
The only thing they're offering the black community is abortion on demand. This is what the president asking for us to vote for.
Now he wants to have this conversation about minimum wage raise because he knows that this is the way to get a lot of the poor people's attention. But to hell with his minimum wage raise. We don't have any jobs. A minimum wage raise for what?
They're not pushing a black agenda. They're not pushing a family agenda. They're pushing a neoliberal agenda.
Across this city, in these major democratic cities, this is what it looks like.
How can the same process happen over and over again and nobody got nothing, can't do nothing about it?
Black leadership is abusing us. The Democratic Party is abusing us.
It's the same way in every black community across the country.
And they force us into a life of welfare. We don't want no welfare. We want opportunities to go to work. We want opportunities to own business. They bailed out all of the major banks and these big investors, but left the people starving.
There are no Tea Parties in your city.
We don't have those people. We have a major democratic machine, and the majority of them, they look like me. These are the people who make sure we get nothing, but then turn around and have us to vote for them again.
They only come around when it's time for elections. When they think they can give you a toy or give you a turkey or something, and everything is good.
Hundreds of millions of dollars are coming down from the federal government. But the money is going to all these special interest groups. My brother's keeper went to his friends. This whole corrupt democratic system that gobbles up all the dollars and starves the people out. Can you all look around your community and see any change that have come about with these hundreds of billions of dollars that have come through our cities? No, you cannot. What we do see is our elected officials riding around in new cars, and they have new homes.
When our people don't have jobs in our communities, when we don't have any vital resources, when all the deals been cut and all our people are left out, this is where we end up.
And we got the most important thing that we got that we can stop all this. Everybody got to vote. And if you use your vote wisely, you can stop a lot of this stuff.
Now, I would like to thank the Rebel Pundit for putting that video out there. You can go to the Rebel Pundit's website, rebelpundit.com, and they have other things listed there. It is focusing on the black community, but let me point something out to you. If it affects black Americans, it affects white Americans, it affects Latino Americans, it affects Asian Americans. In general, it affects Americans. And one of the things we have to do is get rid of the injustice. So I would recommend that you go to the Rebel Pundit, look them up. I'll put a link down below in the description. And go there, take a look, see what's going on. But as I was saying earlier, it's the Democratic Party doing anything for any Americans, not just the black community, but for any of us. I don't see it. But I do see them talking about racism and the war on women. And I'm surprised they haven't dragged the old one out of the closet to scare the hell out of the old people. No, the Republicans will get rid of your Social Security. They've been using that one for years. Maybe they're going to pull that out in the next election. Who knows? But anyhow, this has been Ken for the Information Nation, bringing you more stuff. Yeah, we're going to keep on bringing you stuff. So keep on coming back. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time with more stuff. And all I can say is, come Tuesday, get out and vote. Have a nice day. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.